Hi, I want to dispel a myth that I hear quite frequently. I do cowboy action shooting, and to be authentic, I tend to shoot black powder cartridges. And a lot of people say, oh, that's so hard to clean, it's so nasty, corrode your guns. And that's really not true, and I want to show you how easy black powder is to clean. Really, I found it in many cases as easy or easier than smokeless powder. Now, I do want to be careful making a certain distinction here. I'm talking about real black powder, like Goex or Old Ensford or Schutzen. These are true black powders. What you find on the shelf a lot of times are black powder substitutes, such as Pyrodex or 777. That's an entirely different thing, and in my opinion, they are very nasty and very hard to clean. And even among the black powders, some are a little cleaner than others. The traditional Goex it's a good powder, but it's a dirty powder. It'll leave a lot of residue in your gun. My current favorite is Old Ensford. Really good powder, and it's just not quite as dirty as some of the others. But I want to show you, I got a rifle, a shotgun, and my two pistols. These pistols, I just finished a match, and I shot about 60 rounds of black powder through these Ruger Vaqueros. And I want to show you what they look like and show you how easy they are to clean. Now granted, these are stainless steel, which does make them a little easier, but it's about the same. You'll see with my rifle and my shotgun, which are not stainless steel, that they're just as easy. It's about the same thing. So let's take a close look at the Vaquero here now that it's had 50, 60 rounds of black powder cartridges through it, and this is 45 caliber, by the way. And we'll see what it looks like now, and we'll show you how easy it is to clean. So the first step for me for cleaning black powder is simply run warm water through it. Warm water will dissolve most of the residue, and it really does, 90% of the work for you. Now when I do this with the pistol, I usually do it with the muzzle down. It just helps prevent water getting back into action. But I just want to rinse out that barrel. Okay, for black powder, I usually start off with just some generic glass cleaner, window cleaner. I got this from our local grocery, Kroger. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to do a wet patch with that. That is my first wet patch. Look at that. You can see the warm water pretty much cleaned that gun. Now I'll do a dry patch. Look at that. That's how hard black powder is to clean. Two patches. Now I'll come back and run a little oil, mop through it with a little bit of oil and then do another dry patch, but that's pretty much cleaned the barrel. So let's do the cylinder. Again, I'm going to do a wet patch with the generic cleaner. One, two, three, four, 5, and 6. Let's hit it from the other end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's my first patch through the cylinder. Now I'll do the dry patch. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll flip it over, use the other side, and hit it from the other end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, there's my second patch, which is a dry patch, through the cylinder. Now all I have to do is kind of clean up these areas. I'll just take a Q-tip, clean up all of these areas through the pin guide here. Some of these little tight areas you might need a little brush. I'll take a brass brush and just get down in some of those crevices. There we go. Now I'll just take a wet patch, wipe down some of these areas. And what I can't get to with the patch, I'll get to with a Q-tip. Now, almost done. I'm going to take a mop, put a little bit of cleanse oil on it. I really like this. It's a cleaner and lubricant. Really like this stuff. Put a few drops on the mop. Run that through the barrel. Also through the cylinder. I'll follow that up with another dry patch, just to remove any excess oil that might be left behind. Won't leave just a thin coat. I'll use that same patch, mop out the cylinder. Now that is clean by anybody's standards. My final step take a little bit of Lucas Oil Assembly Lube. This is really made for automobile engines, but it works really good on the pin. So I'm going to put just a couple of drops right down that pin guide in the center of the cylinder. Final little wipe down. And that's how hard it is to clean up black powder. Okay, next I'm going to show you cleaning my Model 92. This is a replica made by Rossi. That's a replica of the 1892 Winchester. Again, I just shot this in a match. I put about 100 rounds of black powder 45 caliber cartridges through it, and we'll show you what it looks like now and how easy it is to clean with black powder. I guess you can hear we've got a thunderstorm going by nearby. I'm hoping I can get this done before the sky opens up on me. It kind of looks like it's going to miss us. Okay, here's the bore before we start. See, pretty cruddy. Like I said, I've shot about a little over 100 rounds of black powder 45 caliber cartridges through this. Now, this is a little difficult to run warm water through the barrel. It's too big to fit in the sink. You can do it in the bathtub, but it's hard to run water through it and not get it all up in the action. So I prefer on this rifle just to start cleaning with cleaning patches without running any warm water through it. So it's going to take a couple more patches. You're going to see these are going to be a little dirtier, but again, you're going to see how easy it cleans up. Okay, I'm going to start off with the wet patch with the ballistol, or ballistol, however you pronounce it. And since I know there's going to be a bunch of crud that I don't want to draw back through the barrel, I'm going to push it through and just let it come out the receiver, and then I'll run another wet patch through it. And I'm just pushing all this crud back out of the barrel. That is the first patch through after 60 rounds of black powder, or I'm sorry, 100 rounds of black powder. Now I'm going to do another wet patch with the ballistol. And here is the second patch. Now I'm going to run a dry patch through it. I'm going to flip that patch over and run it through again. There's the third patch. Nothing on it but the oil that I'm soaking up. So 3 patches, that barrel's essentially clean. Okay, I'm just going to clean up the internal workings here with a Q-tip and some ballistol on it. I really don't get much blowback back in this area, so it doesn't get very dirty. I'm shooting 250 grain bullets on this, so it seals off the case pretty good when it fires. And really doesn't get back in here. I just want to make sure I get it clean around the ejector and the firing pin, the slide. And then finally, I'll just take a Q-tip with the cleanse oil on it and put a little oil on everything. And also, cleanse oil is a cleaner and lubricant, so it will still remove a little bit more dirt. And wipe off the excess. Then as my final step, I'm just going to take my mop, put a few drops of cleanse oil on it. I'm going to run that down the bore. And I'm going to follow that with one more dry patch. Nothing but oil. I'm going to flip it over, run it through one more time. Well, that is the fourth patch that went through this gun. That is clean. And finally, this is my double barrel coach gun that I use in cowboy action shooting or western action shooting and cowboy reenactments. And again, I'm shooting black powder 12 gauge cartridges through this. Hasn't been cleaned yet, so I want to show you what it looks like before, show you how easy it is to clean, show you what it looks like after. There we go. Black powder, 12 gauge cartridges, shells rather. Again, see, it's pretty cruddy. Not much dirt gets back toward the action of this. Okay, again, we're just going to start off with warm water. That's going to do most of the work for you. Gets all that warm water dissolves black powder. It gets all that heavy crud out of there. There's a little bit left that we'll get with the patches, but you can see that did most of the work. No, I've been using this generic glass cleaner. Works great. A lot of people prefer Ballistol. Works really good for black powder. And some people take, this is full strength. A lot of people take and dilute this with water, and it makes what they call moose milk. It's just a diluted version of Ballistol. Both of them work very good. So for this one, I'm going to use the Ballistol. Let you see how it works. There's the first patch. Again, that's the first patch with black powder. I'm going to run one more wet patch through it. There's the second patch. Now I'm going to run a dry patch. Little bit of residue on it. I'm going to flip the patch over and run it through again. So that's warm water, a little Ballistol, and 3 patches. And that barrel is almost clean, or it is clean. I'm going to run an oil mop through it. Put a couple of drops of cleanse oil on it. And one more dry patch to remove any excess, and this is done. Should dispel the myth of black powder being real dirty and too hard to clean up, too much of a mess. As you can see, it's easy to clean up, especially if you got a little warm water involved. That does most of the work for you. So it's really quite simple. 2 or 3 patches, 4 patches maybe, and you're done. So this is Mike Carter. Hope that helps.